Hey, this is Alan with Tennessee Tropics again. If you haven't already, go visit our new website. Our website contains a lot of free PDFs on growing cold hardy palms, info on Trachycarpus and sable palms, and it has a lot of links to a bunch of different papers on both, as well as we have a lot of information on how to grow hardy tropical plants in colder zones 6 through 8. So take a look and visit it now at either the link in the description or you can scan the QR code. And so we'll see you later. Hey, this is Alan with Tennessee Tropics. And today we're going to talk a little bit about sunlight. And everybody knows when you go to the nursery that all the plants are labeled as part sun, part shade, full shade, that sort of thing. But we're going to talk about in depth some different things about how, when you're planting especially these cold hardy palms up north, what you should do, what type of sunlight you should plant them in. And we're going to talk a little bit about my history, about the hobby that I did before I got into the palms, what I did a while back. And at the end, we're going to give you a little kind of a secret tip. Not all of you can use, but I bet very few of you know about, and concerning light in the palms. And so first thing we're going to talk about is this, our sable Birmingham, and this one's in full sun. And we've got a couple more of these, and we'll show you one here in a second. That's in mainly shade, and we'll show you how it suffers a lot. This one we've protected a little bit more, but the main reason this one is so much larger is that it's in full sun. And we've talked about in previous episodes how the sun influences things and how you're going to get a lot more growth out of it. And I thought a little bit about it, and we'll talk about a few different concepts, but one concept to kind of remember is, you know how they always talk in school about compounding, about how your money compounds year to year, and then how over 5 to 10 years that compound growth translates into a much larger amount of money. Well, the same thing can be said for the light and the sunlight that the palms get. The palms just growing 10 or 20% more per year, you're going to have a much larger plant in 5 to 10 years than one that's not. And especially with these palms, which like the sun, planting it in a shade versus sun is going to be a dramatic difference over that time period. Of course, the other dramatic difference is if every now and then you have one of these palms and you let it get a complete dieback in the winter because of cold or something like that, that can have the same type of compounding effect over time. But today we're talking about the sun. And so we'll go in and take a look at this second palm here. We'll put it split screen here, and we'll show you the second Birmingham. You can see it's much smaller. It's in the shade, and it got beat back a couple times with the cold, and that's another reason to have these palms planted in the sun, is you're going to get all that ice and cold off of them a lot more if they're in the sun during the winter time. And so there's a look at the two Birminghams, and you can see there's quite a bit of difference. So we encourage you to plant all of your palms if you're north of Atlanta, especially in full sun if you can. And we're going to talk about a few different things here that the sun does, and a few of them will be obvious, and at the end we're going to keep that one tip that's you probably don't know about, and so watch till the end. Well, we all know the sun moves from winter to summer, and so when you're planting in the summer, you may be thinking you're planting in full sun, but as the sun goes lower in the horizon, in the southern horizon, over the winter time, it may not be. So you need to kind of pay attention the whole year to where the sun is on your property. There's also some apps that may be able to help you with that you can take a look at on your phone. And I don't have a lot of experience with those, but those might can tell you some of the sun position for your location over the year. But you want to try to plant those palms in the, like we said, in the full sun, so they get full sun year round. That's going to give them more strength and more energy, especially in these northern zones where you're kind of pushing things. And you should always think of the fronds back here as solar panels. That's the way I like to think of them. They're like soaking up the energy of the sun, and the more energy you can give it, the healthier these plants will generally be. And so that's your best choice. So the main thing here is try to get a position that gets sun year round, and watch out for shadows in the winter that will be caused by trees on the south side of your house, or maybe your house itself, on if depending on where you're planting. And that's what we need to look out for. Quite a while ago, when I was quite a bit younger, I started doing nature photography and bird photography, and that taught me a lot about light and how to use it, the direction of light, and it taught me about something else that we're going to show you in relation to gardening that anybody can use. You can use if you're a vegetable gardener. You can use this in almost any way. Not everybody can use it, but a few people can. And probably, I would say very few people know about it, probably less than 10%. Once I say it, it'll probably make a little sense. But one way I realized it is I visited a palm friend lately, and he had a palm that was growing really well. It was in a corner of his house, and I won't tell you the secret yet, but I told him that you have a real big boost because of where that palm is growing. And but first, we'll talk about my hobby. We'll show you a few of the photographs I used to take. I never did really sell them or anything; just did them for fun, just give it as a hobby, and did some landscape of different things in different areas, and did some wildlife photography in places like Yellowstone and Smoky Mountains National Park, just for name a couple, and also did avian or bird photography, which is very difficult because they're small and hard to photograph. And just like we were talking about, you have to have the right light and the right angle and that sort of thing. And so here we go. I'll show you a few of my photos, and then we'll move on to the very last thing we're talking about, our little secret. And here for last, here's basically the little secret we're going to tell you about. Like I said, not everybody can use it. Can you figure out what it is? It's right behind me. Any type of white object, whether it's something like a white fence, white siding on your house, or even a white or light painted wall, will reflect light from the sun. And especially if you're growing plants that need a lot more sun, or if you're in an area that doesn't get a lot of intense sunlight, this will give your plants a little bit of a boost. If the plants are within 1 to 3 feet of something like this, they can get as much as 10 to 20% extra light from the reflection off the fence. And so you got to keep that in mind. If it's a plant that doesn't like light, it might be bad. But people use this in different ways. Even people that are using solar now have bifacial solar panels, and you can place them close to a white surface when they're angled like this, and the uh, fence will reflect a little bit of light into the back of the panel, and you'll get a lot more solar power from it. But for plants, if you do have a setup like this, keep this in mind, and this can give you a little extra boost, especially from this little reflection. So that's the secret, and not really a secret, just a little extra oddity of a tip. And we'll see you later. We hope everybody's having a good day, and we'll do another episode and keep everything going this year. And it's a good time now to get out there and plant some of your tropicals and your hardy palms. And we'll see you later.